Recently, I've struggled with feelings of anger, of concern, and of the prospects of a dismal future. How do I deal with all of this? How do I find calm in the chaos? I've recently had opportunity to chat with many people. Many of you called and emailed on Wednesday when I sent out the special edition of God Talk. And I've had lots of chances to speak with folks on both sides of the aisle after the election. And when I do, I try to remain calm. I remain in the person that I want to be, that I want everyone to be. I want to do what I can live with at the end of the day and say my truth, but be proud of the way I handle myself in every situation. I can do that without name calling, without slandering or ugliness, without malice. I can speak my truth, and I can understand that others need to speak their truth, even though I may heartily disagree with what they say. My relationships may be shifting, and I'm concerned about that. I think about my relationships when I speak with folks. I don't want to become a one-sided person. I want to continue being broad-minded and loving all my neighbors. I want to rise above. I want to go high if someone else goes low. And so I ask myself, how do I find the calm in my chaos? I looked at history and I found that history teaches us that people all over the world have been in situations like this before. And when they allowed fear to lead them, they paid a dear price. And so I try to make my decisions and continue my relationships with love. And I turn to things that I know. I know that Franklin Roosevelt, in his 1933 inaugural speech, opened with his now famous line about fear. He said, "So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance." Now, I know right now my fear is not nameless, but I believe I can use his remark to help lead me to calm in my chaos, converting retreat into advance, continuing to speak my truth, not being quiet. Will that cost me relationships? I don't know. I also know that making decisions stemming from my fear can lead me into more chaos. So I prefer to make my decisions from a place of love. But where is that love right now? Where can I find that inner peace that comes from living from a place of love? And for that answer, I turn to models of people who have held steadfast in the midst of terror and chaos, people whose lives were beacons of light in darkness. Anne Frank, who turned terror into a warning for all of humanity, a reminder to thank those whose heroic actions helped her and can help us in times of great strife. And so I look for the helpers. I look for the wise people. I turned to Edmund Burke, the 18th century Irishman, who has been attributed with the quote, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." And so I will continue to speak up, to speak my truth in kindness, but I will not be silent. I look to Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a German Lutheran pastor who oppressed the Nazi regime. He wanted the Christian church to be involved in solving the world's problems. Bonhoeffer was jailed and eventually executed for his part in a plan to kill Adolf Hitler. He was passionate, he was outspoken, he wrote quite a bit, and he paid the ultimate price for it. I looked for courage and bravery to someone like him. I looked to Harriet Tubman and enslaved people who, after being torn from their families, turned to God for release from the terrible lives they lived. Many spirituals refer to a promised land, metaphor for escaping to the north, and also metaphor for heaven. Harriet, in particular, I looked to for her strength and courage when she was afraid. But she didn't give up. I looked to Ruth Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice, who taught all of us to fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. A powerful, powerful thought. So in the end, I will continue to treat people with the golden rule. How would I want to be treated if the tables were turned? And for the reality of all of that is the planet and all the life forms on it, we are all in a state of turmoil and upheaval. It's not only in our country that humans are falling short of a plan to return to the calm state of Eden. It's all over the globe. The state of upheaval is not unlike a rototiller going through my garden in the early spring. The life forms underneath the soil are topsy-turvied, with new earth being brought up to the surface and leftover corn husks and dried leaves being buried beneath. We are being churned up emotionally, financially, socially, and what will be the result? That new, fresh growth will emerge because of it. The upheaval will end, just as the upheaval of the pandemic ended. I mean, we're all back to going to festivals and singing in church and singing at concerts, hugging friends. Oh, we're different. We're forever changed, but that's the nature of upheaval. Look at the good things we learned from the most recent rototilling of our lives. We know we can have successful meetings in our jammies on Zoom. We were reminded how important vaccines can be for some at-risk people. And we know how important it is to be in the same room with loved ones for a meal, for a holiday or a birthday. We're grateful that we can visit our loved ones in nursing homes and hospitals once again. I guess that's the big lesson here. We're experiencing labor pains, not death. And with labor pains comes new life. To find our calm in the chaos, we just can't look forward. We have to become what we want as we move forward. It has to be action. We have to build the life we want for ourselves and for our families. Now, I will pray harder than ever, and I will thank and align with those who have fought more difficult battles than this. And if someone lies, I will tell the truth. I will surround myself with like-minded people to maintain good mental health. If someone else hates, I will love. I will continue to serve the poor and the sick. I will continue to be the beacon of light wherever I am planted. If someone else rages, I will remain calm. When I feel strong, I will speak up. When I feel vulnerable, I will light a candle, quiet my surroundings, and center on the deep well of peace inside myself. For I'm not afraid of darkness and evil. I will walk through this portion of my life as a light bearer and as a peacekeeper. I will find calm in the chaos, and I pray that you will too. Blessings on everyone.